Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new segment that I'm doing, which is going to be called Shawna Reacts. There is a few videos in the past that is stating such, and I'm here with you tonight, and we are going to react to, I think, a six-part series video, six parts, um, called All the King's Men. So this is my reaction to Volume 1 of All the King's Men, and let me tell you, the Memphis Mafia did not hold back in these videos. I'm just going to say we're going to talk about the truth behind things like the tomato fight with Gladys, what really happened in Germany, and Billy Smith's heartbreaking account of the very first song Elvis played at the piano before he died. And it's going to be raw, it's going to be honest, and you might just change your mind about the Memphis Mafia, or you might not. But this is where it's all going to be, and I hope and appreciate that you guys are here. And I mean hope, because normally you guys aren't used to me being here on a Saturday night, so this is different. You guys, yeah, I couldn't make it last night. I had to do some research and stuff for this on how to do something that I haven't been able to do ever in almost the 4 years that I've been going live with you guys. I have finally figured out how to share my screen while I'm live. So now we can do live reaction videos together, and you don't have to watch it pre-recorded like in the past. So you'll actually have me front and center live with you guys. And that's what I was trying to figure out. So here I am, and I figured it out. I guess it's better late than never, right, guys? But yeah, we're going to do a live reaction video. I finally figured out the technology behind all of it all. I can share screen while I'm live, so that will be very fun and interesting, this show. I want to know your live reactions to my live reaction, because truth be told, I've watched bits and pieces of this 6-volume All the King's Men, but I've never watched it beginning to end before. Ever. I never had it or owned it on VHS when it first came out. And the only time I could watch bits and pieces of it was if it was on like PBS broadcasting network on the one of the 2 channels that I got living on the mountains when I was young. So this is all of it in its entirety. It's going to be a crazy ride. The video footage is old. Okay, so take that to thought. It's old video footage, a little grainy here and there. It was recorded from a VHS. So, I mean, but it's still here, and it's a part of history, and we're going to react to it. And I've never watched it completely, and I'm glad that you guys are here so you can watch it with me. Okay, guys? Hey, John, how are you? You've watched it a million times? Well, this is my first time from beginning to end. Hello, Teresa. Hey, Francis. My back is doing better. It's not really my back that hurts quite as much anymore because I've been doing physical therapy and exercises. It's actually my hip. My hip is still sensitive. So I've been watching out for it the best that I can. Yep, let me get this screen off. All right, guys. So let's sit back, get some popcorn, get some coffee, get a cold drink, get whatever you're drinking, and a snack if you don't like popcorn, and let's get after it. Okay, guys? This, like I said, this is new. I'm very happy I could do this for you guys. We're going to share screen here, and we're going to take care of business, all right? So here we go.
Welcome to the world of real entertainment. You are about to experience the first volume of All the King's Men, a revealing look into the private life of Elvis Presley. Watch for the release of future tapes in this exciting series, coming soon on home video.
I'm excited.
Elvis Presley, from his early life to the day he died, relied on a handful of confidants known as the Memphis Mafia. These 5 men guarded Elvis, kept his secrets, and preserved his memories. Here, for the first time, on camera and on the record, they share their private accounts of life with a legend, the stories of all the King's men.
It was exciting. I thought, God, it's unbelievable. And it's my cousin here, and he's on the radio. It just was, the feeling's just really hard to describe. It really is. If you got somebody that's done something in the family, because I'm going to be honest with you, nobody had.
And he was singing away, and I was amazed that here's this guy that I knew from school and that everybody thought was weird. It's up on the truck entertaining everybody, and he saw me and he went like this.
I grew up with Elvis Presley. I grew up and became a middle-aged man with Elvis Presley, and then all of a sudden, it's over. I knew the drugs had him, they were going to get him, and there was no turning back, and I felt sick.
I was in the living room when she came in, and I said, Elvis, this is Priscilla. Priscilla, this is Elvis. And I said, I had these visions of all of us just going to prison for life. I was scared to death. She wasn't even 14 yet.
Elvis jumped up, went in and got this assault rifle. I think it was AK-47 or something. He came out.
Okay, there is one thing I want to say before we keep going. Now, there's going to be some controversial things, and there's going to be things that maybe a lot of us won't agree on what they're saying. But this is part of history, folks, whether we like it or not. The good, the bad, the ugly. This ain't no sugar shop. I don't make donuts here. I'm going to play the whole video in its entirety. We're going to sit back and enjoy it. We're going to talk about it as a family who loves Elvis. And we're going to take it for what it is. If they choose to say certain things, that's on them. It was up to their conscience at this point what they all decide to say on this show that came out back in the day. Okay, this is the Memphis Mafia stories. This is the original Memphis Mafia stories. Whether we agree with it or not, this is what they are saying. This was their life. They lived it. It is up to them and their conscience what they say in this video. Okay, folks? I know there's been a lot of controversial videos been made as of late about the Memphis Mafia, but in my point of view, and this is my opinion, folks, everybody has a right to their own opinion. The Memphis Mafia said whatever they said with their conscience, and that's it. They lived it, and whatever they had to share in these stories is up to their conscience and their heart and up to God, their conscience. So we're going to watch it, and we're going to learn some things from it, and we're going to talk about it in between. Okay, guys? But I just thought I would point it out here. And as of every show that I do, this is for entertainment purposes only. I've done my research, and I know you have too. But whatever the Memphis Mafia says at this point in these old videos and footage is up to their conscience. Okay? And what they wanted to say at the time. And that's that. So I just thought I'd point it out there. So let's keep it going, guys. I see a lot of y'all have made it so far. Thank you, guys. Let's watch some more of this.
Put it in my hand. I said, Sonny, go kill Mike Stone. Do it for me. Go kill him.
We were all like brothers more than anything else.
The thing about him, he was such a part of our lives. We just, everything, I guess outside of my father, he was the closest thing I had.
I went in to the house and called Graceland, and I said, what is going on? And his first words to me is, Marty, he's gone.
the door opened, and Dr. Nick, he walked out, and he got these tears running down his eyes. He reached and grabbed me, and he said, "He's gone." He said, "Do you want to see him?" And I said, "I don't think so."
We were part of something unique. We didn't even realize what we were a part of until after it was gone. And we spent a lifetime with a legend from the time we were kids until we were grown men, and it was a hell of an experience.
I'll tell you how different Elvis was. When I first moved to Memphis from New York in 52, I first went to Central High School. And we'd be sitting up in the stands, and you'd see a strange-looking guy walking around the track at Hodges Field or Crump Stadium, wherever the games were being played. And people used to point at him and laugh because he dressed different, and loud clothes, and his hair, was longer. And I used to dress the same way because that's the way we dressed in New York.
What sealed our fate forever, I'm sure, I came into between classes. I went to the bathroom one day, and I saw these three guys and Elvis back in the corner. Two of them were holding him. One guy had the scissors. Yeah, Elvis was different. He wore the long hair, and all of us had crew cuts.
Yeah.
And I walked in, looked around, "What's going on, boys? We're going to cut a little hair off this boy here, Well, I said, he don't look like he wants it cut off to me. He said, "No, he don't, but we do." And I said, "Well, if you cut his, you got to cut mine, and I ain't got too damn much up here to cut." And they looked at me to see if I was serious, and they saw that I was serious, and they let him go. Now, the story is these were football players. They weren't football players. These were just redneck dumbasses.
Well, I saw him the first time. I took a girl to see him when he came to Tucson Rodeo Grounds. And man, it was just pandemonium. And he drives in, and she's been cool so far. All these other kids were carrying on and on. She's been real cool. And he comes in, and he steps out, and he falls down to his knees and about dust like that. Boy, and there went my girl. Like, whoa, hey. All of them were trying to get to him.
We used to have these talent shows at school. Elvis got up and sing Old Ship with his guitar, and I had this little combo. I played the trumpet, had the guitar player and the whole bit, and I thought we were something. And this kid gets up and sings this little old ship thing, but they loved it. See, that's what's different between today's musicians and guys in those days. Yeah. Today, you got to do a showcase, which Lamar knows, and he would have had a tough time making it. Yes, when we first started out, it was just straight. Something happened on stage one day where he moved a leg or something, and a little scream came out. So that's how this whole act evolved.
21-year-old Elvis Presley, the son of Mississippi sharecroppers, returned to his hometown of Tupelo a millionaire. In the 3 years since graduating from high school, he became an international sensation, was the object of fanatical adoration by his audiences, and by the end of the year would have 5 #1 singles on the pop chart, including Heartbreak Hotel and Hound Dog. His sensual stage presence earned him the dubious nickname of Elvis the Pelvis, and the loyalty of the emerging youth culture. His parents, Vernon and Gladys Presley, were also caught up in their son's meteoric rise to fame. He had made his first demo record as a present for his adoring mother.
As he told it later, it was for his mama's birthday, and then later he told it was for Christmas. And really, I think, like I say, it was just to hear how he sounded. And as soon as he finished and got it and all, he took it and let her listen to it, And of course, she praised everything he done, She said, "Oh, it's great," and all this, And of course, his daddy, he was somewhat a little different. And he said, "Well, I've never heard a guitar player yet that ever made a damn dime." So
She was the strongest. She was the strong. In fact, Gladys was the leader of the family, period.
When she got mad, she would take a whole lot, and then when she got mad, she'd strike.
She used to brood a lot. That's where Elvis got his brooding.
Well, I think she.
You know, that's completely right. I want to stop it right there because I have to react to some of it while we're watching it. But yes, Gladys Love Smith was the matriarch of the family. On any side, they'll say the same thing. Gladys is the one that fought tooth and nail and got the governor involved in everything when Vernon got thrown in prison. And she did the best that she could to raise her son of 3 years old without her husband, but she put her foot down and she did the best that she could to get her husband out of prison. She had a temper, and I think Elvis inherited his temper from the Smith side of the family, not the Presley. Gladys got fed up with some of what Vernon used to do. There are stories talked about how Vernon liked, to go out sometimes and spend the money they didn't have. And there are some stories about Gladys losing her temper. And I think Elvis, inherited that from his mama on the Smith side, and the dark lining of the eyes, the tired lining of the eyes. And you know what I'm talking about when you see Gladys. Elvis inherited it as well as Lisa. So let's continue, guys. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I do have to react from time to time. So let's keep going.
Worried so much about him, by him being, an only child and her losing one and not really being able to have another one. And she just was so protective of him. But she was really, most of the time, a real up type woman, things didn't get her down that much.
She was a loud talker, and Vernon was real quiet.
Well, he was until he got to a point, and then he was a hitter, and that.
He abused her real bad a couple of times.
Yeah, a couple of times, yeah.
That's a big thing. People who have talked about Elvis since he died, a big thing about him calling home because she wanted to check on him. But, as Billy has told us in the past,
because he wanted to check.
That a big part of it was him checking to be sure that she was okay. That Vernon didn't hit her.
Yeah, I think that's where Elvis got I think he got his warmth from her. Yeah. I also think he got his temper from her.
The worst fights and Red knows about this, and Gladys and Elvis getting a fight, it was, and it always happened over the dinner table.
I remember, that's exactly right.
Scared me half the day, sitting there just frozen. Man, I was just scared to death because I didn't know what was going to happen. Boy, they were in each other's face. And we'd been back home about, I guess a week from when we finished Y'all's Rockin'. I was sitting beside Elvis, and she had a big plate of tomatoes and bacon and Crowder peas, and I think you were at the table, and I'm sitting there, and Gladys said something. Well, Elvis said, no, that's wrong. Well, she started. And then Vernon said something. He turned around his dad and said, you don't need to say any more. Well, they started screaming. And Gladys picked up a plate full of tomatoes and just threw them all over Vernon. Tomatoes went everywhere. I grabbed the Crowder peas, and I was going to head under the table. I said, there's no other way out here. I said, somebody's got to eat here. It really got scary. It scared me to death. And that's the first time I'd ever seen a knockdown drag out like that. They were really.
Okay, guys, there's a few books out there where it states that Gladys would dish it and she would take it. Vernon would dish it, but sometimes he couldn't take it. There are some accounts out there that that's how the family dynamic was. That there was a few times there that Vernon lost his cool. Now, we weren't there, but I really doubt that they're going to make something up like this. That's a big thing to make up. And there's a book called Elvis and Gladys, where it's stated as such, that I remember reading as a child, where it states that Gladys would put her foot down and she'd get so fed up with what Vernon was doing when they were living penniless and he would be spending money they didn't have. And she put her foot down, and then Vernon would get mad and, something would escalate. Now, Like I said, there's going to be things in this that we don't agree with. There's going to be things in this that's a what moment? Like in my thumbnail. What? But at the end of the day, this is their stories. This is their conscience. They're telling us how they saw it at the time. Okay? So let's continue.
Man,
That's why he was so like her in that respect. When he lost his temper,
he exploded.
I didn't care who. He didn't care who was in the room. He didn't care what he said about you, what he said about your family, what he said about your kids. And 30 seconds after he finished, he was sorry. He knew. But
He would get over it quick.
But that was a part of our relationship. I mean, that was the way our relationship was with each other, that you allow somebody you care about to do that. To let the steam
the
out.
only person that I've never known that really, when he got mad, it was like a dark cloud enveloped everything, and everyone around was affected by it. He may not be angry at you. He may be angry at him, but his anger was so...
Do you see how Sonny West said it was like a dark cloud that enveloped the whole room type thing? Lisa Marie wrote the very same thing in her book. I'm pointing that out. In Lisa Marie's book, From Here to the Great Unknown, she said that Elvis, her daddy, would have a temper. It was like a storm. And once the storm got intense, it would pass. Like he would get so angry, he would scare people, and then he would cool off and it passed. I truly believe he got that from the Smith side of the family, which was Gladys. But Sonny says right here the same thing almost. That it was like a dark cloud enveloping everyone. When Elvis got mad, he got mad. But after his anger subsided, he would calm down and a cooler head would prevail. So I just thought I would point that out to you guys, okay?
forceful that it just, you couldn't wait for him to get out of it because it was bad.
He could push the buttons harder than anybody alive. I mean, he knew how to push the buttons. And when he pushed them, I mean, I've read myself, Sonny, Marty, I've seen us all double up. I mean, he's doubled us up in pain.
Teenage hearts across the country checked into Heartbreak Hotel in 1958 as Elvis is drafted into the Army.
I do solemnly swear that I will bear true faith and allegiance. I will bear true faith and allegiance to the United States of America. To the United States of America.
Elvis is now marching to a different beat. Not only is...
I'm going to pause that real fast. Sandra says, Shawna, did you say you were looking for the book, Elvis, What Happened? No, I own it, actually. I own it. I've owned that book since 1992. I own it, and Red West autographed it for me. So I never said that. Sorry, Sandra. I've never said that. I own Elvis, What Happened. That's actually one of the first controversial books I ever owned. I was 14 the first time I read that book. And maybe we'll talk about that book further. But no, I own it. I've never was looking for it, but thank you for asking.
Is he leaving behind a phenomenal recording career, but also a string of top 10 movie hits, among them King Creole, Love Me Tender, and Jailhouse Rock. When Elvis surrenders his trademark long hair, the shearing makes the front pages of newspapers and magazines around the world. Posted to Germany, Private Presley is assigned to a tank unit, but would find he can't escape the assault of a photo-hungry press corps. Even with constant attention, Elvis politely answers reporters' questions with a diplomat's flair.
You miss the singing career very much, or are you enjoying this Army life?
I miss my singing career very much. And at the same time, the Army is a pretty good deal, too.
Elvis hated being there because he thought his career was over with. I mean, you know, he had this fast rise to the top all of a sudden in 3 years, and then bam, in the Army.
Sure.
You become a movie star, the greatest record-selling singer ever, and then bam, here you are in Germany. Well, on the post and everywhere else, he was a soldier. He did his job. I mean, he stood up in the cold, up on the border in the wintertime in Grafenwehr, freezing weather, sitting in a Jeep as a scout, watching the Russians on the other side of the fence. But when he came home, we heard all, about how much I hate this, Colonel Parker, son of a bitch, this, that, and the other.
Oh, I know.
But then when he went back to the post, he was a perfect soldier again.
Remember, we used to go to Frankfurt.
Okay, I'm going to say one more thing, and then I'm going to let you guys keep watching it with me. There's going to be cussing. We're all adults here, okay? This isn't, like I said, this isn't made for children. So there's going to be cussing. There's going to be cussing, okay? So let's be adults here and just realize that, there's going to be some curse words involved. All right, they're Southern. They're men. It's going to happen. It's locker room talk, okay? So here we go.
To the nightclubs. Elvis really, anytime he got a chance to go around entertainers or the business itself, he would go because it would remind him of what he did. And we were over there to this club one night, and this girl was when they twist all, what do they
contortionist?
A contortionist, she was, And later on, Elvis went up and saw her and got back in the car, and our tongues are out of there and panting, wanting to know what went on. I said, he said, boy, you cannot believe what I was. Man, we pried on him for 2 days trying to get what went on in there. It was unbelievable. Things like that would happen to him. It didn't happen to us, and we just thought it was great. I said, did she do all? He said, oh, yeah.
Girls were always coming to the house. So, and I didn't speak any, I had learned a few German words like, du schlafen mit mir.
What's that mean?
The important one.
Yeah. So this one real cute little girl came to the door and.
Okay, guys, I have one little technical difficulty that I need to fix. So, hold on a minute. Let me see if I can do something. Okay. All right. I'm going to do this and I'll be right. Okay. This is kind of cute. We're back.
Show starts in 8 minutes. Yum, yum. It's time for a tasty and refreshing snack. Show starts in 7 minutes.
It's refreshment time, folks.
Taste that beats the others go. Pepsi pours it on. Taste that beats the others go. Pepsi pours it on.
Yum, yum. It's a meal in itself. Our all-meat super dog. Enjoy one now. Show starts in 6 minutes.
As everyone knows, rainbows usually have a treasure at the end. Let's follow this one and see if we can find the pot of gold.
Oh, there, and I suppose you've come to claim me treasure.
Well, we'd like to see the gold first.
Anything that's better than gold in here, me lad. No, just look here now.
Candy, refreshing soft drinks, popcorn, ice cream. Well, that's some treasure, but anyone can buy luscious treats like these at the snack bar.
You don't tell me. Do you suppose you could get me a job as a snack bar attendant?
Okay, that's enough of that, guys. I have created a monster being able to share screen. Thank you, Wet Blanket. He was letting me know that my smoke detector battery was getting on his nerves. So thank you. I had to go change that really fast. It was getting on my nerves too. I didn't realize it was beeping. So yeah, I'm back, guys. Hey, you had time to go to the bathroom, get some popcorn, do all that. But here I am, guys, and I'm back. So let's keep going and watch all the King's Men, okay, guys? So sorry. But they were right. My smoke detector was going off, so.
She started speaking. She couldn't speak English, and I couldn't speak German. And I finally said, let's get to the chase. Du schlafen mit Elvis? Yeah. So he hadn't come home from the base yet, so I sneaked her up to the room and put her in the room. And in about 10 minutes, Elvis came home, and I said, Elvis, I left a little present in your room up there. Oh, really? And he went up there, and 3 or 4 hours later, they came out.
Grinning ear to ear. We would go on leave to Paris, and we would go over to the Lido and see the Lido show. And the Lido girls were actually a group of girls called the Bluebell Girls. And after the show, Elvis invited them all over to the hotel. So about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, this guy called my room, and I answered, and I said, hello, and he said, sir, he said, listen to me. And I said, what do you want to tell me? He said, y'all have all the women over there. And I said, really? He said, what women? He said, the dancers. We can't start the show. And so I went to Elvis' room, and I opened his door up. It looked like a harem. And I mean, we're talking everywhere. I had stepped on 4 or 5 of them trying to get to the room. And it was like a parade. Girls were walking through with their stockings around their necks and carrying their purses and their clothes. And we loaded all 5 limousines up to take them back over to the hotel. It was really.
I think this is a good place to bring up something, because I know that every one of us, and even the guys that ain't here, have heard it since Elvis has died about all the stuff he did for us and how much money we made and this and that. I don't think, with the exception of 2 or 3 who will go unnamed, that any of us were there for the money. If we were there for the money,
if been the money, would never stay.
Nobody would have been there, because there was none. And we didn't complain. I mean, every once in a while somebody would say something, but for the most part, we didn't complain because we loved being there. And it wasn't just with Elvis. We had such a tremendous camaraderie and relationship, all with each other and with Elvis and him with us, that, hey, the best thing I can say is that I wish that kind of relationship on everybody.
In March of 1960, Elvis is discharged from the Army and returns home to his adopted city of Memphis, a hero. The time overseas has matured Elvis and given him a suave new look, yet his music and his career has stayed on his mind.
I don't think rock and roll is dying. Some people say it is. A lot of people say it is, sir, but I'll tell you, it has changed some. The music itself has changed. It progressed quite a bit. I think it's better. I think it's getting better all the time, because the arrangements are getting better. They're adding more instruments and so forth. It's getting better. But in 1956, when I first started out, I was hearing the same thing: that rock and roll is dead. It's dying out. I'm not saying that it won't die out, because it may be dead tomorrow completely. I don't know. I wish I did know.
Meeting him at the train station is manager Colonel Tom Parker, who has tightly controlled Elvis's every career move since 1955. Back home at Graceland, the next chapter of Elvis's life has begun. He will soon star in his 5th film, G.I. Blue.
Can I say something before we start again? He's so handsome right here. Whew. He give me fever, ladies. He is so handsome here. His hair, the way he's, oh my gosh. I remember seeing this footage, probably 12, 13, 14, throughout the years. And oh my goodness. He's a handsome man. That's he is. God broke the mold when he made this man. Whew. Whew, he gave me fever. Okay, we're going to go back again, but I had to point that out.
And is now involved with a dark-haired beauty he met while in Germany, the
Lord have
young
mercy,
daughter
they're
of an
gonna talk
armed
about
colonel,
Prissy Pants.
Priscilla Beaulieu.
Help us.
I remember the first time I met her, I'd already come back from Germany, and she came after me in Germany. And he couldn't wait to show her to me there at Graceland. The first time I saw her in the kitchen. Yeah. He sit her down and come got me and said, I want to introduce you to Priscilla Beaulieu. What do you think? I said, what do you expect me to say? I think you hit a home run there, son. And, he had that wood tip cigar. Yeah, I think so too.
She was diaper trained by then, yeah. Hell, he had underwear older than she was,
Did you hear him? Lamar Fike said that Prissy Pants Priscilla was diaper trained. Wow, he said that, folks. He said it.
Okay, let's get back to an interesting thing here. Priscilla's come to the States, and then Elvis is making these movies with all these gorgeous leading ladies, which leads us to Anne-Margret, who, everybody here will agree, was one of the sweetest, nicest, sexiest women that we've ever met. I mean,
a whole lot of fun.
In fact, it was a real toss-up at that time between Anne-Margret and Priscilla. And Priscilla knew it too, see? And so she even goes so far as to lighten her hair and get the same look that Anne-Margret did during that time. I mean, that's how intimidated she was by that situation. And
Oh, yes. Hey, guys, let me find something for you. Hold on. We're going to stop it right here. I got to find something for you. You're going to love this. You're going to get a kick out of this. Okay. Hold on. Bear with me here for a second. This takes a while to load. Hold on. You guys, this is funny. Here we go. Hold on a minute. I'm going to show you something hilarious. Let's see. Hold on. There's a post here I want to see here. Hold on. I'm trying to find something. It's like hidden. I want to show you pictures. Here she is. I want to show you something. Okay, so they're talking about her being jealous of Anne-Margret. Okay. And so she went to the extreme of even making her hair red back in the day. So we're going to quit sharing this. And then I'm going to share this. Do you see that? Wait. Do you see that, guys? You see that? Priscilla. That is Priscilla right there. She was so intimidated by Anne-Margret while Elvis was doing Viva Las Vegas that she did that. Did she think doing that was going to like play with Elvis's mind like he has like Anne-Margret at home? I mean, but she did that. It's around the same timeline, guys. So I'm just saying, I mean, yeah. So I wanted to point that out to you, right? So I'm gonna quit sharing here and we're gonna go back to watching the show. Just a minute. Hold on. Share. All right.
She did, yeah.
I remember one night we were in the kitchen at Graceland one night, and the intercom buzzes. I pick up the intercom, and it's Elvis. He and Priscilla were upstairs. Get this bitch an airplane. I'm shipping her ass home. I said, okay. And I hung the phone. I told the guys Lamar was standing there. Lamar says, oh, here she goes.
Yeah. Wings south, yeah.
And then about 15 minutes later, the intercom rings again, and he says, forget the plane ticket. I said, okay. See, the whole thing was about Anne-Margret. And she confronted him with it. And first he denied it, and then he turned his defense into an offense. He said, look,
defense, yeah.
He said, I didn't do nothing, but if you're going to accuse me, you can get your damn ass out of here. And that's when he's a pretty good actor. He picked up that damn phone and he said, get this bitch an airplane. I'm packing her bags and she's gone.
Well, it was just too obvious, you know.
And this according to Priscilla in her book Elvis and Me, really did happen. Because Priscilla wrote in Elvis and Me this very incident. And as before Elvis called and said, get her on a plane, or get this bitch on a plane, she threw a vase against the wall and she says, I hate Anne-Margret. I wish she would go back to Sweden where she belongs. And Elvis got upset with her and said, you know, you're going to go home, little girl. And she's like, oh, no, I don't want to go home. And he's like, yes, you are. You're going to go home. You don't understand how my life is. You don't understand all the women that throw themselves at me. You who have no understanding of my life being a superstar. And he was upset with her. You know, they were fighting over if he was really seeing Anne-Margret or not. And Priscilla called him up on it. And he called her bluff. And he called the boys downstairs and said, hey, get her on the plane where she belongs. She don't need to be here no more. Give her to her parents. And she was flipping out. And I think she was 17, 18 here. And he was going to send her. And she said, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. I'm so sorry. I know you're just acting with Anne-Margret. You and her aren't really together. And, I mean, it was a crazy fight, but it's in the book Elvis and Me. So if you guys want to watch that, I mean, movie, which is a movie. Priscilla is also a movie. But Elvis and Me from 1989, the movie was not bad. But the book Elvis and Me, Priscilla mentions this very fight that they had. And yeah, so I just thought I would point that out to you guys, that this incident really did happen. And he probably did call her a bitch. I mean, she was being kind of bitchy at the time.
I mean, she was reading all this stuff, you know, and everything else. And, of course, he was saying, you know, you're going to read all these things about me with every co-star and every woman, you know, that's around. So he could cover it that way. And his next thing for not coming home was they're holding me under contract here. I heard that until...
Another time there, when he did this similar thing, was on Rocker Place, when they got into it up there. And you could hear him. We were down in the living room in a long hallway, and they had the end bedroom way back there, and you could hear it, hollering, the yelling. And what he was doing was he was taking all of her clothes out of the closet and throwing them on the bed. And he said, get your stuff packed, get out. And he came out there and sat down in the living room. And all of a sudden he broke into a grin. He said, I think I got her thinking right now. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I think she's okay now. I said, Elvis, you tell her to get out? He said, I sure the hell did. I took her clothes, threw them on the bed, told her to pack and get out.
Oh, Mr. Macho.
And I said, do you mean it? He said, no, I don't mean it, Sonny. He went back in a few minutes and said, now, put them back up and unpack. You're not going, but that's what will happen the next time you challenge me on this. So he used reverse psychology many times.
He have her dancing on a yo-yo. Yeah. I've never seen anything like it.
This is a young girl. Huh? You got to remember, this is a young girl. I mean, she turned 21 after being with him for like 5 or 6 years. And she was a young girl at that time. So she was scrambling, like with Anne-Margret, a very polished woman, actress. And here's this young girl scared to death she's going to lose this man.
The thing with Elvis and Anne was the biggest thing that broke it off was the fact of their careers. See, Elvis had a hard time accepting, you know,
equality.
That's right. And so he wanted a woman, you know, basically like Priscilla, who he could pretty much raise himself, you know, the way he wanted her. And Anne wasn't willing to give her career up, you know. So I think that was the biggest thing that really broke that whole situation off.
After 4 years of living together, Elvis Presley and Priscilla Beaulieu exchanged wedding vows in Las Vegas at the Aladdin Hotel. The groom has just completed his 25th movie and has now sold over 100 million records worldwide. Elvis's father, Vernon, kisses his new daughter-in-law for luck. America's most eligible bachelor is now a married man.
Elvis should never have been married. He loved femininity. He just was not meant to be married because he was.
But he said, the colonel said, you know, that you got an image to keep up. And he said, you've been with her for a while, and
she's not a little
lot
girl
of people,
anymore,
right,
yeah.
and she's not a little girl, and the people know it. And he said, this is a good time.
But I think he turned to the colonel after Colonel Beaulieu put the pressure on him, because I think he called.
No, I'm just saying what Elvis told me in later
yeah.
years. This is what he told me, that the colonel actually, you know, told him it was time for him to get married.
See, he and I, when we got home, we had a bad argument. And he said, look, you got to understand I'm under a lot of pressure. And I still, you know, I said, yeah, what kind of pressure? Just like that. And he said, they're pressuring me into marrying Priscilla. And I looked at him and said, what do you mean, who's pressuring you? He said, her father. They threatened to sue me if I don't marry her, breach a promise. And I looked at him. My first reaction, I wanted to say, you know, pardon the language, I wanted to tell them to go fuck themselves, you know? And I held back. I didn't say nothing.
I mean, guys, you know my opinion on this. You know, even Mary Jenkins said she heard Elvis crying the night before the nuptials. He did not want to marry that woman. He told Red West on the telephone in the late 70s, well, you know, before he died, he did say that he was railroaded into that. So, I mean, I kind of believe this. I don't think he wanted to marry Priscilla. I don't think Elvis was a one-woman type of man. And a lot of the Memphis Mafia say the same thing. So I do not doubt this story. I think Elvis was railroaded into marrying Priscilla. I think if you read Child Bride and deep dive into the issue at hand, you guys might even come up with the same conclusion. I just don't think that he really wanted to marry her. He had to marry her. I mean, he had her living in his home before she was 18. I think she was, 17 3/4 when she was supposed to live with Vernon. And she didn't live with Vernon. She lived with Vernon for maybe, 2 weeks. And then she moved herself into Graceland. So I don't think that he wanted to marry her at all. I think he had to, after promising her parents that he would, to get her there. And after she moved into Graceland herself, I think, yeah, he had to marry her.
Still was in that mood, and he says, you know, I'm going to have to do it. And by then, I'm sure he had already talked to the colonel.
Let's face it, from the time Elvis became famous until the very end, he never, at any point, stopped seeing other women, including with Priscilla. Exactly. Never stopped.
He was having her around when he wanted her around, see? And if he didn't want her around and he wanted to stay away for 3 or 4 weeks, Priscilla had to stay there by herself until he wanted to come home. I mean, he really got her, and as she got older, she gained more independence, because when she was younger, it upset her that she might lose him. But now she needed male companionship, and if she wasn't getting it from him for whatever reason, she wasn't getting it from him, he, you know, all of a sudden she's seeing attractive men that are interested in her, and so things started happening.
Priscilla started taking lessons from Mike Stone in L.A.
Karate lessons.
And Elvis was very impressed with Mike Stone because he had like 90.
Okay, they did skip part of the story, guys. They go straight to Mike Stone here. I just now caught that. We all know Mike Stone wasn't her first escapade. It was actually her dance instructor first. So 6 weeks into having Lisa Marie, she goes into dancing school, and she meets her dance instructor. And that's her first affair, was her dance instructor. And then a few months after that, I would say maybe a year and a half after that, it's Mike Stone. So I think they didn't even go there first, which is crazy, because if you go with the timeline of her infidelities, you know, her dance instructor was first and then Mike Stone. So it's kind of funny they go to this one first.
3 or 96 bouts as a black belt and never lost one. He had never lost one bout. And first, he was teaching her, and it just turned into something else, you know? And it evolved into an affair. Mike Stone was married at the time. It broke up his marriage. So it just went from bad to worse there for a little while.
They happen. That's, you know.
And Elvis started talking to us about this guy breaking up his home. And he all of a sudden started losing it and saying things like, God, you don't understand. And he's saying this and that. And then Elvis sat down and he said, Sonny, get down, get down. So I was at the foot of the bed and I got down on my knees. He said, come here. And he put his hands out. And I took his hands and he said, look at me, man. And I started looking at him. He was trying to give me suggestion by concentrating on, you got to kill him, Sonny. You got to do it, man. You got to do it. He's breaking up my family. Very low key. And I'm fighting. I said, no, Elvis. He said, Sonny, you can do it. I know you can do it, man. He's done this. My baby, my wife. I don't have him anymore. And I said, Elvis, no. And Red's over at voice said, Elvis, come on. Elvis jumped up, went in and got this assault rifle. I think it was AK-47 or something. And he came out, or either Thompson machine guns, one of the two. And he came out.
Melissa, that's absolutely right. She did take her dance instructor to the 68 comeback special, but Elvis got his revenge in a way. He had Susan Henning during the 68 comeback special. So Priscilla brought her dance instructor lover, and Elvis had Susan Henning. So it was like a toss-up type thing. If people were looking into the marriage at that time, you would have thought that it would maybe be an open marriage at that time because they were both seeing other people. So thanks for pointing that out, Melissa. And yes, it's true, Francis. Chuck Norris did just die recently. And yes, Priscilla did have instruction under Chuck Norris as well. But she didn't have an affair with Chuck Norris. She had an affair with Mike Stone. So, yeah. So let's get back to it, guys.
And put it in my hand. Said, Sonny, go kill Mike Stone. Do it for me. Go kill him. I said, no. He had lost her and he knew it.
Elvis was hurt, and he was hurt deep. But a whole lot of the hurt was his ego.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that Priscilla left him.
To him. Oh.
And not him, you know, because all the other times he was saying weeded the woman out. And this time it wasn't. She left him. Boy, and that was a heck of a blow to his ego.
And the night that he found out for sure, either like Red had told him or something, when he knew it, Priscilla was in town. She was downstairs eating. Elvis got someone to tell her he needed to see her to come up. They did it. She came up there, and he didn't rape her, but he took her and remarked to her about Mike Stone. Can he do this? So forth and so on.
Okay. So in Elvis and Me, Priscilla says what Sonny is talking about. She claims that Elvis raped her in Elvis and Me. Sonny says that is not what really happened. Elvis took her. So please, guys, in the comment section below and live chat, what is the difference between Elvis taking her and raping her? I'm thinking to myself, even Priscilla backtracked from that, because in her book, Elvis and Me, she states that he forcefully took her. Forcefully. And then by the mid-1990s, she doesn't talk about it anymore. He's the love of her life, blah, 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 blah. So which is it? Was he victimizing her, or was she just fine? Because she lies like the wind blows, guys. We know this. She's stupid. You can't fix stupid. There ain't enough of duct tape in the world to fix whatever the crap that is her. We know this. From her face to her heart to the actions that she has done with her daughter and now with her life and her other son. It's bad. It's very, very bad. The track record with Priscilla is awful. But Sonny says right here, he took her. Not forcefully, just took her. Priscilla claims that he forcefully took her, which is the same in the dictionary as raping, graping, whatever YouTube will let me say. But we're adults here. I believe that Priscilla lied in that chapter in her book. She tried to backtrack it because if she says bad things about Elvis, the money revenue will go down. She had to make the money revenue go up. So she backtracks it, starts going and working for Graceland even more, backtracking what she used to say in the beginning, and then completely forgets about it and hopes everybody and the generation forgets about what she said, right? But Sonny says he took her. That's kind of different, right? Right? I don't know, but I think it is. And yeah, right. I got you guys in the comment section. Thank you guys for being here. Okay, so let me go back to it because it's frustrating. Here we go.
And then when she went back down and she arrived, Pat was there, his wife, and Judy, and her face was real flushed, real red. And she said, he just took me up there. Scared me to death at first, but he just took me.
In L.A., I came out there on a visit. I was out there on business. I came up to the house. For some reason, he was outside, and I got out of the car. And the first words out of his mouth was, Marty, Priscilla's going to leave me. And I looked at him, and I said, well, Elvis, I know it hurts, but let me ask you something. I mean, you know why she's probably going to do this. And I said, are you going to change doing what you're doing? And he looked at me and says, I ain't changing for nobody. I said, well, as much as it hurts, you're going to have to live with it. And he looked at me and says, yeah, you know, I guess you're right.
Disillusioned with Hollywood in the late 60s, Elvis returned to his first love, live performances. On the eve of his first appearance in New York, Elvis seems nostalgic about his music career.
I would like to think that we've improved ourselves over the past 15 years.
How about musically?
That's what I mean. I mean, musically and vocally and everything, I'd like to think that I've improved over the past 15 years.
Elvis. Attendance-breaking appearances in Las Vegas, a TV special, and 4 more hit records bring Elvis back from the brink of becoming a rock and roll has-been. He's quite aware of the thin line between the person and the performer.
Are you satisfied with the image you've established?
Well, the image is one thing, and a human being is another, you know. So.
How close does it come? How close does the image come to the man?
It's very hard to live up to an image, I'll put it that way. Yeah.
You can't imagine the pressure and everything involved in being in Las Vegas for 4 solid weeks working, another week to rehearse, 2 more weeks after was kind of playtime, but 2 shows a night, 7 days a week. Nobody does that.
No.
And that might kind of explain some things to people, the pressure that somebody like that is under, and we're under, not only with our families, but constant pressure from him, from the colonel, from everywhere.
Sure.
And from the audience, from everything that's going on. You cannot imagine.
You know, the early parts of Vegas he liked in 60.
And see, this, I got to stop it one more time just to react to that. The pressure was high for everyone. It wasn't just Elvis himself. It trickled down to everyone involved. And, you know, it was hard for all of them. But Elvis picked these individuals. Elvis loved these men and brought them into his court, right? I mean, he personally picked each and every one of them. And he brought them in, and whatever pressure he was under, it would be under them too. And then their families, their wives. You know, these men had to be took away from their wives too to go on the road with Elvis. These men had to be taken from their family and children too to go to Vegas and make movies in Hollywood with Elvis. So they were took away too, you know. So whatever stress Elvis was up here, it trickled down onto the rest of them. And I truly believe that, because in real life, that's how it is with anybody. If you have a lot of friends in your life and you do a lot of things with them and you're under a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, that's going to trickle down into those that you love. And it happens in your household as well with wives and husbands and whatever. If you're under a lot of, you know, stress and responsibilities, it's going to trickle down onto your family. So I can see that. They were human, just like everybody else. So they have opinions and they're stating them.
69, 70, 71. After that, about 73, 4, and 5, man, he hated Vegas. He could not stand it. It drove him crazy. It was so hard, you know.
He always had to have a challenge, and the cities, the tours, turned out to be the same cities over and over and over and over. And then Vegas, the same stage over and over and over and over.
Somebody asked me not long ago, said, what do you think really killed him? I said, I thought it was terminal apathy. You know, he
bored to death.
He became so apathetic that he became a parrot of himself. It was sad because he would go on stage and go in automatic pilot.
One night he comes out and he was wound up before the show. He was not in a good mood. He's over on my side of the stage, and he throws a scarf to this lady. She grabs it and throws it back. And it just floated right down on him. And instead of taking it, you know, smiling at her and going to give it to somebody else, it pissed him off. He went right to her. And she took it right back to him. And she's just drunk and laughing. Oh, this is great. I'm getting all this attention. Well, he's driving him up the wall. I'm standing there behind the curtain. I said, oh, shit. I could see this wasn't going well because he's forgotten about the show and he's got a picture of the scarf back and forth with this lady. And he read back and just threw the hell out of it and walked off. He thought about this the whole damn show while he's doing it. It was a terrible show. And after the show, we got downstairs. Why in the hell didn't you come out there and stop that, man? I said, stop a lady from throwing a scarf? I mean, I'm supposed to walk out in the middle of the show and chew a lady out who's doing nothing but throwing a scarf. He said, God damn it, don't talk back to me. He got quiet. In a few minutes, he come out, I mean, at a very fast pace. He always had that gun. He was trying to pull this gun out. I said, God damn it, don't you ever talk to me in front of the security like that. So I just turned around, leaned on the bar, you know, when he came right in front of me, and I'm waiting, you know, if he's going to do something, he's going to get one shot. And that's, you know, when Sonny saw this, he stepped in.
I said, come on. I mean, that was, you know, what's wrong? What is wrong here, you know? And he said, I'm not having anyone speak to me like he spoke to me, and it was already...
That's right, Cheryl. Even the guys knew Elvis needed a challenge. And it was sad, but he would get so bored, you know, between the road or Vegas or making a movie, and he had to sit for a long period of time. He wasn't used to sitting for long periods of time. It would make him bored. And when he got bored, stuff happened. But my gosh, he was the biggest star in the world. And somebody asked me once, and I'm going to put it out there. Somebody asked me once, they said, do you think Elvis deserved his privacy? Do I think Elvis deserved his privacy? Well, I think each and every individual of this planet deserves their privacy. But once you cross that line and become a celebrity, your privacy isn't private anymore. Why? Because you're a celebrity now. There's no privacy in being a celebrity. And any celebrity would tell you this. They can't be private no matter what. Everything leaks. Everything comes out. Once you become a celebrity for all the world to see, you are not a private individual any longer. Your life doesn't belong to just you. Your life does not belong to just family. Your life belongs to everybody, anybody whoever decides to look you up at the time. You know, your privacy doesn't belong to you anymore because you crossed the line and became a celebrity. So yeah, that's where I'm at, because somebody asked me this, I think a couple of years ago, you know, like, didn't Elvis deserve his privacy? And it's like, as an individual, of course you deserve privacy. But once you become a celebrity worldwide, loving sensation celebrity, you really don't have that privacy anymore. You know, it's not yours anymore. Melissa says, question, I've never read Sonny and Red's book. Is it all bad, or is there some good things in it as well? There's some good things in every book, Melissa. You have to pick out what's good and what's bad. You know, I can't just tell you, oh, they said bad things in this book, but there's not any good things. That's not true. There's always good things in these books. You just have to be able to put the puzzles together on what you believe at the time, the timelines, and all the things that they talk about. You have to put together and do your own research. I personally have a soft spot for Sonny and Red West. I know that they both wrote Elvis What Happened, but I also know later in life that their conscience got to them and that they truly said that they were sorry. They both apologized for what they did before they died. And to me, that means something. That means something. Now, did Dave Hebler apologize yet? No, not that I know of. He has never apologized. But Sonny and Red did. So there are also good things in the book. Not all things in the book are bad. Holly, I've seen this a couple of times, very insightful. I'm pissed that they wrote the book, but all in all, I do believe they love Elvis. We are all outsiders looking in. Absolutely, Holly. We are outsiders looking in. And who are we to judge them? You know, are they sitting there and pointing their fingers and judging at us? No, these men are passed on. They're dead. They're gone. They've already apologized for what they did, you know. But I truly believe with some of the stories that they're saying in this episode that what they're saying and what they lived is true, whether we like it or not. A lot of the stuff they're saying is true. I mean, you can cross-reference it in some of what Priscilla says too. I mean, yeah, but there are a lot of things in the timeline that add up. And I truly believe that Sonny and Red were really sorry for what they did and the timing of that book. They know what they did, you know? And Francis agreed. I do think Red and Sonny had remorse for the book. They did. They tried to write 2 other books after that. Red has another book coming out right now that his wife helped get published. So look for that book, because once it comes out, guys, we're going to deep dive that book. Red has another book out from what his wife could put out. So I'm looking forward to that, you know? Tina, that does mean something that Sonny and Red said sorry. They did numerous times before they died. So they did apologize for the timing and how they were upset because they got fired and they were just trying to save their best friend's life. But, you know, they had remorse. Debbie, it was Dave Hebler, Red West, and Sonny West who wrote Elvis What Happened. Yes, it was, Debbie. But Sonny West and Sonny West and Red West apologized for writing that book. And they said that Dunleavy, the co-author of the book, he sensationalized some of their stories, but they apologized for that book. The only one that hadn't apologized for that book has been Dave Hebler. But Sonny and Red apologized before they died. And that means something, especially to me. So they hold a special place in my heart. Just Sonny and Red, you know, were one of my favorites. Hem up. I like Sonny and Red. Also, I think we need to remember things were different in the 60s, 70s, and then what they are today. Exactly. Exactly. That is a big major thing. There is a difference in the decades here, okay? It's not like we're talking about right now. Okay, guys, so I'm going to quit sharing really fast. We're going to go back to the intermission thing because it's fun, but also it ain't alive unless I had to bring my dog from outside. She's a barking terribly. So I'm going to have a quick intermission, guys, and then I'll be right back, okay?
Show starts in 5 minutes.
We're happy to have you with us. Enjoy every minute of your stay here. And while you relax and stretch, visit our concession where you'll find something to please you. There are ice-cold drinks, delicious sandwiches, ice cream, coffee and snacks, and many other pleasing treats. Our foods are fresh and tasty, our drinks satisfying and refreshing. They're so good.
You get more out of life when you go out to a movie. Show starts in 4 minutes.
Visit our snack bar and treat yourself to some delicious Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches. Cook the Castleberry way, slowly over open pits of glowing charcoal, then seasoned with a sauce that's zesty, yet delightfully mild to please the entire family. Also at the snack bar, you'll find popcorn and soft drinks and candy and French fries to go with your Castleberry's barbecue sandwiches. There's plenty of time before the movie starts, so visit our snack bar right now for Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches.
Still plenty of time to come and be served at the refreshment center before showtime.
Show starts in 3 minutes. Show starts in 2 minutes.
Your attention, please. All new hotshot electric in-car heaters have been installed for your comfort and convenience. Just insert heater through car window and turn on the switch. When leaving, please turn switch off and replace on speaker post. Warning, high voltage. For your own safety, do not attempt to repair or remove wires. Do not attempt to open heater unit. If you need assistance, please notify the theater box office or concession manager.
Show starts in 1 minute. Please remember to replace the speaker on the post when you leave the theater. And now, on with the show.
Hey guys, on with the show, guys. I'm sorry about that. It ain't alive unless I have to bring my dog in and have to deal with something. So here we go. Oh, hold on. I gotta share screen. Let's get back to the show. There we go.
If he didn't, he was going to be in a lot of trouble. And Red left the bar went into the kitchen. We got a stand-up refrigerator boy, and he hauled off all of a sudden and hit that freezer door, and a big dent just went in it, you know. And he said, damn it, what is this about? I've had it.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to go with what Cheryl said. They were mad and upset. 1 week notice, they were fired with only a few dollars to their name. Elvis told Vernon to pay them more, but he didn't do as Elvis directed him to do. It doesn't make it right. They had bills to pay and families. Thank you, Cheryl. That is a great comment. That is exactly what I think too. You know, they were a little disgruntled and they had some right to be so. Elvis told Vernon to pay them more with the 2 weeks notice, but he didn't. And you have bills and families and things that come up, and they got nothing compared to what Elvis wanted them to get. And if I remember correctly, he would fire you one day and call you back 3 days later and rehire you. So how do we know that he wouldn't just fire them just to rehire them a couple of weeks later? But that didn't happen because things got all mixed up and they were disgruntled. So I agree with you there, Cheryl. I really do. And Daffy says, I think Red and Sonny regretted doing the book. I think they really did love Elvis. It was Vernon and his greed that made them do the book, and he never gave them what Elvis said he was to give them. And I agree with both Cheryl and Daffy on this. Vernon did not give them the money or say the things he was supposed to say. What Elvis instructions told him to do with Sonny and Red. It just didn't happen. So thank you guys for pointing that out, but that's true. Vernon did not pay these guys what Elvis told him to pay them with the week's notice that he gave them. So, I mean, they had families and they had bills just like everybody else.
I've had it. So there again was the thing where Elvis could push you to a point and he knew when to stop.
Well, he got handy with a gun there in Vegas. There was some funny incidents. The breakfast table, of course, breakfast was like 5 or 6 in the afternoon. It was kind of up 3 steps off to the dining room. And we all, all the guys come in there, talking loud. He was at the end of the table, and he wanted our attention. He said, hey. And everybody just kept talking like Lamar usually does. Jack, back and forth. He said, hey. It's just everybody ignored him. He took the gun and boom, boom, boom. And you can hear the bullets ricocheting around up there. Everybody hit the floor. Lamar grabbed his heart.
Last table. It was that thick. We dived on it. I ran into you. We hit like this, looking up and
but you hear those bullets ricocheting.
It would rain, though. It would rain up there, and the rain.
Oh yeah. After that, it was like you could put your flowers under there and keep them alive.
The hotel said we don't understand what's going on. They said why is it? They just didn't put the stuff up there right, so they had to go. They had to go retar it. They never could understand why it was leaking.
It'd take off sometimes about a day or so, and then we'd start going around the strip and seeing other acts, And so we went over to the Landmark, and there was Jimmy Dean and the Imperials were backing. So something happened where Elvis invited them, and I guess Jimmy Dean was invited. I don't know, but I know he told the guys, y'all come on over to the hotel. So the Imperials and Jimmy Dean arrived there, and we're all sitting around talking and everything, and time's going on and on. And they're out there a little over an hour now, and no Elvis. Imperials didn't mind. I mean, they had worked with Elvis. They knew. But Jimmy Dean wasn't appreciating, being out there like that. So Elvis, a little while, come walking out of his room, coming down those steps, and Jimmy Dean was standing there next to the bar, and he saw him. He started walking towards him. Said, I ought to rip 1.5 yards out of your ass to keep me waiting this long. And Elvis boy took that gun out, put it right underneath him chin, and said, I ought to shoot your damn brains out for even talking to me like that. And Dean was just like this here, and Elvis, just kidding, Jimmy, and walked off.
Yes, this was during the bad days of Las Vegas. This was toward the end of Las Vegas where we went to started going back on tours. Got out. He was tired of Las Vegas, and he was really getting into the prescriptions and everything else. But this one particular time, you know, we pretty well had to figure out when certain things are supposed to be happening. When he's going to get the shot to get up, and when he's going to get the shot to go to bed. And it was getting close to showtime. The phone rang. I didn't see anything going on. And it was the Colonel said, well, you're going to be able to make it? And I said, Colonel, I don't think so. And boy, that was, you talking about pressure. Because you're talking about a showroom full of people. You got to go down, somebody got to go tell them that no show tonight.
A lot of people ask questions about whether the Colonel, and the statement that he made, whether he knew whether Elvis was having problems or not and taking stuff and what have you. And he denies, yeah, but he says he didn't. And that answers a whole lot of questions to a lot of people that he knew just by calling up there asking.
Colonel knows also, he and I talked about it because I was on the road in advance setting up security at the hotel and everything. So I went ahead of each show with Colonel Parker, and he told me, he said, Sonny, he's getting worse, it seems. I said, he is, Colonel. He's getting worse about it. So the Colonel was well aware that Elvis had a problem.
Even though Elvis continues to perform at sold-out concerts, loyal fans ignore the fact that the man who once gyrated across the stage can no longer fit into trademark jumpsuits. In 1973, Elvis and Priscilla divorce. Elvis finds comfort in a woman who would take care of him in the darker days to come. Former model Linda Thompson.
Linda was with him for 4 years, from 72 to 76, and most of that time, you know, she stayed the same all the time. She dressed flashy. I mean, Elvis loved for her to dress that way, and yeah.
And she went through. This was during a period of kind of going downhill. She went through some stuff, and she probably saved his life.
You know, we've always contended, had she been there at Graceland when Elvis died, that he'd...
Okay, somebody listen to this. Holly, I watched Sonny meet and greet. I don't believe that they went to Elvis's funeral. Plus, I don't think that they would have been allowed in. Plus, maybe they thought it would not, that they would make a scene. Yes, Sonny and Red West did not attend Elvis's funeral. Vernon, after the book Elvis What Happened came out, decided that it wouldn't be best for them to come. And Sonny and Red West believed that it wouldn't be best for them to come either. Billy Smith was there and a few others. So Sonny and Red wasn't, excuse me, there. But you guys have to understand that book, Elvis What Happened, came out. So, of course, they wouldn't have been allowed at the funeral. And they didn't want to go anyway after that. They thought it was best to not to.
She'd have checked on him and didn't know what had happened. She'd have got in there in time.
He had taken something one night in Las Vegas, and what do? He'd take these big green bombs, man, Placidel, and after a while, probably more than that. And then he'd wait for them to hit. And he'd eat or read or whatever. And he loved to get that feeling, you know. He would just sit there and go to sleep. And of course, she was always there to put him to sleep, make sure he was asleep. Well, he was eating an apple. He was laying down one night, eating an apple, and it hit him. And what he had in his mouth got stuck in his throat. You know, he was choking to death, and she happened to be there, flipped him over, and did whatever it took, and knocked it out.
You know, he was so.
1 second, I want these big green things that they're talking about for 750 Placidel, they're hypnotics.
He's calling green football.
Yeah, and that's what he was taking that would literally just knock him out. He could be eating, and it happened so quick when it hits, it's just within about 10 seconds, you go sound asleep. Go ahead, Lamar.
Elvis was very, you know, because he's such an insomniac, he was very nocturnal. He'd get up.
Okay, so we're going to go into what Elvis took and how much he took and all this stuff, but Lord have mercy. Guys, I've been dealing with allergies lately because of the pollen. The pollen has been so high here. With my asthma, it has not been cool. And I see that there's 70 people watching. Thank you, guys. It's becoming a little hard to breathe. Lord have mercy. I don't want to cough throughout this whole thing. So there is 22 minutes left of this. You guys, how about if I come back to you guys Monday night? We watch the rest of this and we talk about it live, just like right now. But what do you guys think of this so far? Because obviously this is good footage when it comes to the storyline, and they are saying some things that are like really interesting. We do know that some bad things to us, some of us might have been shared, but it was up to their conscience of what they wanted to say. And I get that. This is the first time I actually could watch all of this first part in its entirety. It's been interesting. I've only watched bits and pieces, so watching this with you is a really good thing because I've never watched this whole thing before. But my throat and my coughing is getting kind of bad, and I'm trying not to distract you guys. It's been awful around here with the pollen, but my throat's and coughing. I don't want to, turn you guys off of it. But anyways, guys, I'll be with you guys on Monday night. We're going to finish this, okay? Because I want to see what the rest that they're going to say. I've never seen all of this before. So thank you guys for watching it with me. You could have went to any Elvis channel for your Shawna Reacts, Elvis, All the King's Men, but you didn't. You came to mine, and for that, I love each and every one of you for it. I just wanted to do this for you because this footage hasn't been seen in a long time because it is on VHS, and I never got to watch it. Maybe some of you own this, but I've never owned this before. So watching this with you for the first time has been really neat. And I have been enjoying this discussion too. But anyways, guys, I'm sorry, but between coughing and not being able to breathe very well because of the pollen, it's just been awful. And but we got 22 minutes left, and I'll talk to you guys on Monday, and we'll start where we left off on Monday. Okay, let me see how many minutes we're in here so I can save it. 39:48 minutes in. So, okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you saw tonight, please give a thumbs up. Excuse me. And also, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't. We have a lot of fun, and we talk about Elvis, and you guys know I adore him so. But thank you guys for joining me this evening. I love y'all. TCBTLC. God bless you all. And you know what? I'll see you on the other side, of course, and on Monday, okay, guys? I love y'all. So I'll talk to you all on Monday night. We'll finish this then, okay? And bye, everybody. I hope you had fun. I did. Thank you, guys. Bye, guys.